The autumn wind whispered through the cobblestone streets of Imre as Kvothe stood before the ornate door of the Aeolian. His fingers traced the familiar wooden carvings, but something felt different tonight. The music flowing from within carried an unusual resonance, a haunting melody that seemed to twist the very fabric of reality. Inside, Denna sat at their usual table, her dark hair catching the warm lamplight, but her eyes held a shadow he'd never seen before. "I know what they're planning, Kvothe," she whispered, her voice trembling. "The song you've been searching for, it's not just a song, it's a key." Her fingers drummed nervously on the table as she explained how she'd discovered ancient sheet music hidden within a nobleman's private collection. The musical patterns matched the very symbols Kvothe had seen etched into the stone doors beneath the university. As they pieced together the connection, Master Eladin burst through the tavern doors, his usually calm demeanor shattered. "They're coming," he announced, his eyes wild with urgency. "The Chandrian know we found it." The tavern's warm atmosphere suddenly turned cold, and the music stopped mid-note. Through the windows, an unnatural blue light began to creep across the evening sky. The next morning found Kvothe deep within the archives, surrounded by scattered papers and ancient texts. Willem and Simon helped him decode the musical patterns Denna had discovered, while Master Lauren watched from the shadows with uncharacteristic interest. The breakthrough came when Kvothe aligned the sheet music with Denna's findings, revealing not just a song, but a map hidden within the notes themselves. As they worked, a strange humming began to emanate from the walls of the archives. Books trembled on their shelves, and the air grew thick with an electric tension. "This can't be right," Simon muttered, pointing to a recurring symbol in the text. "According to this, the doors aren't meant to keep something out. They're meant to keep something in." The revelation hit Kvothe like a physical blow. All this time, they'd been wrong about everything. The Chandrian weren't hunting them to keep the doors closed. They were trying to prevent them from being opened. Before he could process this, a deafening crack split the air. The stone walls of the archives began to shake, and through the tremors, Kvothe heard it. A sound he'd only encountered once before, in the depths of Trebon. The unmistakable scraping of stone against stone, coming from deep below the university. Kvothe stood silently beneath the rustling branches of the massive tree, the twilight casting an ethereal glow across his robes. The whispers of the wind carried hints of familiar magic, warm and inviting, yet charged with uncertain power. Beside him, Denna drew her shawl tighter against the evening chill, her eyes glinting softly in the firelight as she placed a delicate hand upon Kvothe's shoulder. "We've been followed," she murmured, her voice shivering gently like the leaves above. Kvothe spun quickly, fingers gripping the hilt of his hidden blade, heart racing at Denna's words. 3 hooded figures emerged from the shadows, their movements graceful yet menacing, faces obscured beneath heavy cloaks. The tallest stepped forward, dropping back the hood to reveal Bast, his normally playful smile replaced by seriousness and determination. "Master, forgive us, but the time for secrets is at an end. The flame draws near," Bast whispered urgently, eyeing Denna with wary caution. In the distance, pillars of smoke rose ominously toward the darkening skies, streaks of crimson and gold flickering beneath clouds heavy with prophecy. Kvothe felt the music of fate vibrating in his bones, the pulsing rhythm of the world itself shifting. "We must hurry," he said quietly, pulling Denna close, unwilling to lose her warmth in the approaching storm. Yet before they could take another step, the air erupted in a blinding torrent of brilliant fire, bright golden flames sweeping ferociously around them, circling into a raging vortex of blazing fury. Kvothe shielded Denna protectively, bracing against the intensity of the blaze, the roar of flames drowning all other sound. Suddenly, the inferno parted, controlled yet fierce, as a laughing figure strode through. It was Cinder, Chandrian incarnate, fire folding obediently around his tall form, eyes gleaming cold blue despite the heat. The Chandrian smiled slightly, tilting his head at the astonished pair. "Kvothe, how long have I chased your shadow? Now at last we dance." With those words, the flames surged again, sharpened into searing tendrils, aimed straight for Kvothe, who raised both hands defiantly, chanting desperately to the wind and sky, weaving threads of naming and pure magic. Denna stumbled back, calling his name in anguish just as Bast hurled himself forward recklessly to aid his master. Amidst the blazing chaos, sparks showered brightly like burning stardust, illuminating the devastating beauty of spell and sword clashing violently in the twilight. Blades sang out, magic raged, and destinies intertwined beneath burning stars. Yet Kvothe sensed in dread that Cinder was playing with them, holding something back. Then, eyes locked directly onto Kvothe's. Cinder smiled a slow, mocking grin as he turned deliberately towards Denna, whispering darkly, "Such delicate softness. It would be tragic to burn." "No!" shouted Kvothe, leaping forward recklessly as scorching flame enveloped everything, obscuring vision and hope alike. The autumn wind whispered through the cobblestone streets of Imra as Kvothe stood before the weathered door of Devi's shop. His fingers trembled slightly as he clutched the ancient tome he'd discovered in the depths of the archives. The revelation within its pages weighed heavier than the book itself. The true nature of the Chandrian's immortality, hidden in plain sight all these years, made his heart race with both excitement and dread. Inside, Devi's usual sharp smile faltered as she read the passage he'd highlighted. "This changes everything," she whispered, her golden hair catching the lamplight. "But the price?" Kvothe nodded grimly. "Every magic has its cost. The question is, am I willing to pay it?" The answer came in the form of a thunderous explosion that rocked the building's foundation. Through the window, they watched in horror as green flames erupted from the university's grand spire. Simmons' warning had come too late. "They know we know," Devi breathed, already reaching for her emergency pack. As they rushed into the chaos-filled streets, Kvothe caught a glimpse of a familiar figure on the rooftops. Denna, her dark hair streaming behind her like a banner, pursued by shadows that seemed to move against the wind. The Waystone Inn's common room fell silent as Chronicler set down his pen, his hand cramping from hours of writing. Coates' eyes had taken on that distant look again, as if seeing through the walls to that fateful night. Bast shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "And Denna?" Chronicler prompted softly. "What became of her on the rooftops?" Coates' fingers traced the familiar pattern of his scar before answering. "That's where the story turns truly dark," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Because what waited for us in the Chancellor's chambers revealed why the Emir had truly disbanded centuries ago, and why Denna..." He stopped, reaching for his glass with trembling fingers. A sudden gust of wind rattled the inn sign outside, and in that moment, every sympathy lamp in the room flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Through the window, a familiar shade of green light began to paint the night sky. "Master?" Bast's voice cracked with fear. "They couldn't have." "They followed the story," Coates said quietly, rising from his chair, "just as they followed the song." Dawn seeped gently through ancient branches as Kvothe stood upon the crest overlooking the valley of mist-shrouded ruins, each stone etched with secrets older than civilization itself. Beside him, Denna, her dark eyes alive with wonder and anxiety, softly murmured, "I never dreamed we'd truly find it." The magical energy of the place vibrated through the air, resonating deep within their bones. As Kvothe descended toward the hidden arches, glowing symbols ignited faintly beneath his steps. "Stay close," he warned softly. A sudden wind stirred, carrying whispered voices and scents of timeless incense. Around him, ancient magic woke. A guardian spirit emerged, serene yet formidable, outlined by rippling starlight. Dindi sim itsim. You have come seeking knowledge, truth woven in stone and shadow, it stated melodically. Kvothe nodded, heart hammering with urgency and awe. Then listen closely, son of story and sorrow. The doors of stone breathed. Its spectral hand swept toward colossal doors, carved intricately, long thought myth. The doors trembled as if sensing his presence, and the valley's ancient whisper grew into a melody haunting and hopeful. As Kvothe stepped forward, Denna gripped his hand. Fear, hope and trust intertwined irrevocably in their touch. Within the great stone gates stretched a hall bathed in an otherworldly luminescence, shimmering walls embedded with gemstones pulsing gently as if alive. Kvothe felt each step as a breath, intricate harmonies resonating softly all around. Suddenly, a shadow flickered just beyond sight. Turning sharply, he beheld a hooded figure emerging slowly, features obscured yet radiating familiarity. "You've sought me your whole life, Kvothe," came the melodic voice from beneath the hood, tinged with both sorrow and affection. Pulling back the hood, the figure revealed the face of his long-lost mentor and guide, thought forever lost. Kvothe staggered backward, pulse roaring in disbelief. Impossible. You walk within dreams turn stone, friends turn foes, a riddle within a mystery. It's time you understood the true price of secrets." The mentor's gentle yet firm voice resonated with restrained power. Behind them, distant whispers rose, urgent and warning, a tremor running beneath Kvothe's feet. The hall's gemstones shifted colors violently, stormy hues of violet and amber overlaying the serenity. The mentor extended a welcoming hand, sad eyes filled with secrets darker and costlier than Kvothe ever feared. "Come, child, see with eyes anew."
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?